Hey, hey. Welcome everybody to Miss Glow's Kitchen, where there's sugar, spice, and everything nice, where we slice, dice, and entice, using everything we can, from peppers to allspice. What's up, my people? Y'all know what time it is? See y'all in the kitchen. Alright, just very quickly, here's what we need for those old school butter cookies. 4 sticks of butter, make sure it's softened, it's at room temperature. 1 3/4 cups of sugar, 2 eggs, vanilla extract, flour, baking powder, salt if you use unsalted butter, but I'm using salted butter. And you need some butter flavoring. That's it. You know what I say? Ain't nothing to it but to do it, so let's get to it. Alright, now what I aim to do right here is show you the correct way to measure flour when you're baking. Any type of baking. Baking is a precise way of cooking. So you cannot. So as you can see, I've got the 1 cup measurement over the flour. Now you need to make sure the cup is all the way full. And what you do is you take something and you scrape it flat. Now you see that? So you scrape it flat across there, and that's 1 cup. So I'm going to show you 2 cups. And I've got to do 5, but I'm only going to show you 2. So let's just say we got a heaping cup of it like that. Well, just take that knife, scrape it across there nicely like that, and what we got? A nice, exact 1 cup of flour. All right, so that's it. Let's move on to the next step. Now what I have done here is I've creamed the butter and the sugar. So I've mixed the butter and the sugar together well, and then I've added vanilla extract in. What I have done with the dry ingredients is I put the flour, the 5 cups of flour in the bowl, and then I put the baking powder in with the flour. So now what you'll see next is you'll see those 2 different bowls right here where I have the baking powder. You can see it on top of the flour right there. And then, of course, I have the creamed butter and sugar and the vanilla extract. So now what happens here is, and before that, I forgot to mention, before that I did mix the 2 eggs in. So after you cream the butter and the sugar, you mix the 2 eggs in, then you put the vanilla extract in. What happens here is you start putting the flour in. 1 scoop at a time, you put the flour in and you just start mixing it really well. Now, this dough is going to get really dense and really thick. It's almost going to feel like you need to add something to it, but trust me, there's 4 sticks of butter in here. Don't add anything to this. Don't add any milk. Don't add any more butter. Don't do anything. Just work this flour into the dough. It's going to work. So now if you do not want to do it with a spatula or a spoon, then some people, hell, they use their hands and mix it in. So that's what you need to do. That's what you do. However you can get this flour mixed into this dough without adding anything else, that's what you do. Alright, so that's what you'll see me keep on doing right here. I'll just keep on, scoop by scoop, mixing it in. And I'm going to show you the entire process to mixing this flour in. Now, normally I will fast forward it or I will edit, but I will not do that right here because I want you to see how this dough reacts to the flour getting mixed in. So it can feel like it's getting dense and a little heavy, but just keep going. Just make sure you press that flour into that butter mixture, and look at that. See? Eventually you'll get it all. So you want to turn it every once in a while too, because you want to make sure that the dry flour that gets to the bottom of the bowl, that you're actually mixing that into the mixture as well. So you want to make sure you're getting that in there. Now you want to make sure before you put your next scoop in that you have thoroughly mixed that flour mixture in with the butter mixture. So here we go. So now I'm daring. So I'm going to put all of it in at the end because I'm being daring. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do that. Still do 1 scoop at a time until you get it mixed in. This is going to take a minute, but I'm going to show you how you can get that in there. So I'm using a rubber spatula. So what happens with that is I'm going to press down and I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure that flour gets incorporated into that butter mixture. So these are those old school lunchroom butter cookies. Alright, kind you get in high school. The old lunch ladies making those butter cookies. We perfected the recipe and we've learned it, so this is it. We got our hands on it and it's over, baby. We can make this. You can do this at home. No problem. And it makes a big batch of cookies, so it just depends on how big you want to make those butter cookies. But if you decide to make them the regular size you normally see butter cookies, then you get a nice batch out of it. You get even more if you do them smaller. I usually don't do them that small, but they can be done. So if you wanted to do them as small as, say, like an Oreo cookie or a Chips Ahoy cookie, you could do them that small. Alright, so you see me manhandling this spatula. Yes, I'm manhandling this mug. Because at this point, this dough is really thick. And so if you see that, you can see some dry flour at the bottom that I just turned over. And so what happens is, I just want to make sure I'm getting to the bottom of this, and then I'm getting all of that flour mixed in. Because at the end, I don't want to have that dry flour in there, and then it bakes into the cookie, and then you bite into it, and you see dry pieces of flour. It's not pleasing to the eye. You know, we eat with our eyes first. We eat with all senses, but I tell you, we eat with our eyes first. We look at something, it doesn't look good, it's not likely we're going to taste it anyway. But these look good. Alright, still manhandling it. So it sort of feels like Play-Doh right now. If you've ever had that clay or that Play-Doh and it started getting hard on you, then it's not hard, but that's the denseness of it. It just is really thick. So it's just some dough to work with, but you can smell the butter, smell the sugar, smells so good. Now, once you press it together like that, that's the texture you're looking for. So it's almost like I said, it's almost like a clay, like a Play-Doh or something. So that's smart, because that's the exact consistency you're looking for. If there's anything less than that, then no. It's not going to fly, not going to do it for us. But that's good. So make sure you test your dough just like that. Now, here's how I shape those cookies for myself. I usually put them in a nice little ball here. And what I do is put them on the palms of my hands like that. So that's what I usually get. I get a round disc like that. And that round disc allows me to put the shape of my fingers on the top of the cookie. So that's the best way for me to do it. That works out. And it's a little bit easier for me. So as you can see, look at that. Put the shape of the fingers in there. It works. So that's what I normally do. So I'll normally take like a tablespoon or a really small scoop, and then I'll try to just scoop it out, because I try to get all the cookies the same size. It doesn't all the time work with these particular cookies though, but most of the time I'll get them almost uniform in size. So, but it makes no difference with these. These are so good that it doesn't matter if there are some big and some smaller. It really doesn't matter. They're really good. They're really not going to last that long. Trust me when I tell you that. Believe me. They won't last that long in your house. They're really good. So what I want to do here, so you want to leave some room in between these cookies when you put them on the cookie sheet too. So you want to make sure that they're not touching, or that when they do spread, they're going to spread a little bit, and when they do, they don't touch. So as you can see, that crack, the little groove in the dough right there, I'll usually get rid of those. I'll press that out. So I'll turn it over until it's like a nice little ball there. Now, not necessarily a round ball, but a nice ball there, and there are no cracks in that dough. Because then when you flatten the cookie out, you may get that in there, and I don't want to do that. So I normally like to have a whole smooth cookie with just the indents on the top. So it takes a minute to do this. Not long ago, so I did like 2 of these batches maybe. There's not a lot of people in the house, so I didn't overdo it with the dough as far as. So there's lots you can do with these cookies too, because they're almost like they're butter cookies, but they're so close to being shortbread cookies that there's a lot you can do with these. So if you want to drizzle these cookies with nuts and chocolate or caramel or something like that, you can do that. You can definitely do that. Just give you a different flavor to your cookie. It'll be a shortbread or slash butter cookie, but it'll give you a different flavor if you do that caramel and nuts or something like that. So there's some variations you can work with these cookies. So the flavor, so the butter flavor is so prominent in there that adding caramel or adding chocolate or something only enhances the flavor. It just makes it even better. So now we're at the point where we're just going to get them all into that disc shape I was talking about. So using both palms, so squeezing it between both of your palms, give you that nice disc shape where you got a little bit more dough in the middle and then it's thinner around the edges, so that once you put the finger indentations on the top of it, that you don't get cookies that are way too thin. So you don't want to press these all the way down till you can feel the cookie sheet under your fingers. You don't want to do that either, because that means you're making your cookies a little bit too thin, and you don't want to do that. So now your oven's at 350. And you're going to get these babies in there. Alright, so these will bake anywhere between 11 and 14 minutes. You want to watch your cookies, because what happens is when they get that brown, crispy around the edges like those, they're ready. So mine, they're ready. Presto changeo. They are ready. They are out. So I just wanted to show you what they look like when they're out. So that's what you're going to be looking for. That nice golden color. So right around the edges you can see that. So that's when you know that your cookies are ready. You don't want to leave them in there. And you don't want to leave them on that hot cookie sheet, because if you leave them on that hot cookie sheet, then they're going to get too dark on the bottom. So they won't necessarily burn, but they will get very, very, very dark. And that is not what you want. What you're looking for is that golden color on the bottom right there. So 350, anywhere between 11 and 14 minutes, but you've got to be watching them because it depends on your stove as far as how long it will take to bake these cookies. So you want to make sure you're actually keeping an eye on them. You're going to watch them when they get that crispy brown look around the edges like that. Then you know they're perfect and they are ready. So, by now, you've mastered this. You watched it. Believe me, you're going to become an expert at this. Hit that subscribe button and that like. Come on back and check out some of the other recipes too besides this one. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. So guess what I'm going to do now? I'm going to show you what they look like on a plate. But I'm actually about to go and eat some. So, I'll see y'all on the next go round. Thanks for watching Savory Spices. See y'all next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.